I remember the night that I found the Food Network. It was during one of my stays at the hospital. It was like 11:30, probably not a time like a 6-year-old should be up. But my mom was actually stumbling through the shows, and she stopped on the Food Network. I immediately woke up and started watching. My mouth was watering just looking at all of it. So I'd have my mom with a notepad write down the recipe because they would flash them at the end of the show. And then when we go home, we'd make those dishes. And that's kind of what I would do because I couldn't go to school. I couldn't, hang out with my friends or play sports, but I could cook. My name's Jack Witherspoon. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a chef and an entrepreneur. So my story kind of starts when I was 2 years old. That's when I was first diagnosed with leukemia. It's about 1.5 years of very intensive chemotherapy. You're in the hospital for weeks at a time. I had about a year or 1.5 years of a normal childhood, quote unquote normal childhood. When I went into first grade, I had relapsed with leukemia. Even though I had to go through many weeks in the hospital getting chemo, I would have never fell in love and found cooking and food.
It was 3.5 years of treatment, and that was really hard to get through it all, but we did, and we were optimistic and thought everything was gonna be great. But it's when he relapsed that it devastated the family. And that's when we started doing the charity events, because he started living to cook and everything, and I just felt like we needed to put a purpose to him getting this cancer. I'm gonna cry. I didn't want it to be for nothing, for everything that he went through. Sorry.
My mom was good friends with a restaurant owner around here, and he offered up his restaurant. That's when I started hosting charity events, but that's also kind of when I started coming up with dishes for that event. I remember my first event, driving there and seeing a line around the block to get in because it was sold out. And I just thought to myself that it was almost like a dream. It was incredible. The feeling that all these people were here supporting me, supporting my passion for food and cooking and, helping others. It was surreal. I was always experimenting in the kitchen. I would copy these recipes down, but I'd always kind of like to put my own personal spin on them. I love playing around with mixing different ingredients, and kind of in the end, it's something unique, it's something special. I remember one of the reasons that I said that I loved cooking when I was little was that there was endless possibilities, and I still think that is true. I had accumulated quite a few recipes, so we ended up looking for a book agent. There was a good year where just about every night we were making something or testing something. This was when I was 11. I was just finishing 5th grade, so right when my cookbook was going to print, I relapsed with leukemia. And I'm not really one to be sad or say why me, but it was one of those moments where I didn't understand why this was happening. It's not only, physically demanding, it was also very mentally challenging for me. There was a time that I felt so bad that I didn't really even want to cook for very long. It was almost like a goal to get back to that, to be able to enjoy food again. It's actually gonna be 8 years cancer-free. It's a real roller coaster, to say the least. But after going through all that and releasing my book, which was a huge high point, and then also I was on the Rachel Ray show, and then getting to go on the Food Network and cook with Rachel Ray and Guy Fieri on the Rachel vs. Guy Kids Cook-Off, that was a dream come true. And then I was on Chopped Jr., and I did multiple other TV appearances. It was a definite high after going through so much. I think why I love cooking, it's kind of changed over the years. It used to be something that was kind of like my shining light, throughout all my treatment. But I think now it's kind of been this vehicle that I can help to inspire others with. And I think starting my own company has kind of been the evolution in that. Chef Jack's and Sconies is kind of my most recent endeavor. I had a great sugar cookie recipe from my book, and I also had a great scone recipe, and I kind of played around with the idea of crossing them and making a scone into a cookie, and that's kind of how Sconies were born. Throughout my journey, all the stuff that I've done, my charity events, my cookbook, part of the proceeds went to my endowment for pediatric leukemia research, and Chef Jack's and Sconies is no different. It still has that charitable thread. We're available online, and we're also, trying to get into larger retail stores, but we're really focusing too on getting into hospitals and hospital cafeterias, because I think that's the place that my story really resonates with people. And I'd love to just show that you can get through this, and you can, not only just survive, but you can thrive, and you can live your dream and do so much more too.